Hi and welcome to another video. Thank you very much for joining me. Today I'm going to be discussing getting off the beaten track. I'm going to a much less visited location. There's two parts to this site. The first half is a disused quarry. The top half is the old works at the top. So I'm going to get some architectural style images as well as the landscape of the dereliction that exists here. But what I really want to discuss as we progress is why it's important to go to the lesser known locations. So let's head on up the trail to the quarry and we'll start to capture some of our first images as we discuss it. The first composition I've got here, the sun is just starting to come out, so it's creating some great casting. But I've got the path leading up, I've got the walls coming in from the left hand side just here. I've got the path, the trail leading up, the old workers trail leading up through the middle, that beautiful S shape. And then I've got the diagonal of the old tracks where they used to bring the slate down from the works at the top. You can see that diagonal, and then there's that lone tree on the top. I'm going to capture this really quickly whilst the sun's coming out, and let me know what you think about these photographs, and then we'll head on up the trail into the actual guts of the quarry itself. And please remember, as you look at the images and I go through the compositions, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Your support for the channel is massively appreciated and goes a long way in supporting the channel and helping it grow. I'm at the foot of the quarry now, and I've zoomed in on the feature because I'm that little bit closer and I can get really great lines with that solo tree now. But we've got the little S going up as well. Absolutely beautiful. And this is important. This is what I was saying at the beginning of the video about coming into locations, looking at them with fresh eyes. And the quarry I'm at the moment, I've seen very, very few photographs of this, and I've seen very few people actually come in to film here on YouTube. So it's actually, this is one of those important aspects that's really critical to investigate new areas. We don't all want to take exactly the same pictures all of the time. So investigation of new areas is critical to improving your photography. And the other thing that this composition and this weather really highlights is we've got a bright white cloud behind. There's a little bit of texture in that. I'm sure it's not coming through on my little filming camera here, but it'll come through in the pictures that I show you in just one second. But what I'm having to do is just do that landscape photography patience. Just wait for the sun to hit the foreground as it is now, to just balance out that image and just to make sure that we've got enough colour on the foreground. Using the polarizer to cut out reflections, that's critical. That'll be on my camera pretty much all day. Right, I've captured this image. Let's head on further up the trail and we can then actually start to get into the actual workings themselves. We're just approaching the works now. Wow, just look at these features. Look at that rusty pipeline. The slope where they used to remove everything down the hill. The rusty cables leading down into the foot of the quarry. Right, I'm going to have a look around for some compositions in this area now. And just look at this dead tree coming out of the slate, I don't know, the leftover slate from the workings where they've just discarded this, or maybe not good enough quality, just piled there, but there's this dead tree reaching for the sky coming out of it. Absolutely amazing. Right, let's just really capture this one really quickly. And again, this really, to me, highlights the importance of coming to new locations. You really get to see new compositions and practice your composition skills and just your landscape and nature photography in general. It makes you think about it rather than taking photographs and images you've caught before, or even copying what you may have seen other people take. And I've just spun around from the dead tree as well. Halfway up the slope leading up, just look at that leading up into the dark clouds, the tree at the bottom right, the top of the original slope where they used to bring the slates down to the bottom of the quarry for processing. This place is just a mine of, well, excuse the pun, but it's just a mine of absolutely awesome photographs. And when on location like this, it can be so grey because of the slate and the conditions. Why not add a little bit of colour? I have, if we can see it, I've got there some foxgloves in the background. Absolutely amazing. And what I'm doing for this composition is I'm going to put a low aperture on the lens so that I've got a shallow depth of field. And with that, what I'm going to do is blur out the grey slate in the background. And I'm going to contrast that. I'm going to have the flower vertically, and all the slate is stacked horizontally, so you've got a really good contrast of lines as well. Right, let's have a quick look at this image and then we'll move on for some compositions in the actual village itself before moving up to the main quarry at the top. I'm in the heart of the village now before we go up to the actual workings at the top. There are so many compositions. It's an actual gold mine here. There are derelict buildings, there's the small outbuildings, there's the quarry works, there's rusty infrastructure everywhere. Absolutely superb compositions. And the clouds have got some beautiful texture in them now, which is one of the reasons I came today, was because it's overcast and potentially stormy, rainy. Then that makes for some great clouds. We don't all just want to see blue skies all of the time. So what I'm going to do is, you can see how I've got it set up. I've got the camera pointing through the window in the background. There's some foxgloves in the background. We've got the ferns in the foreground. We've got the layers. We've got the layers of the fern in the foreground, the green, the grey of the actual slate wall. And then we've got the pink of the foxgloves through the window, looking like a looking glass through. Absolutely awesome composition. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shoot around here and I'm going to take some photographs and I'll put those in a short gallery, and then after this gallery we will head on up to the main works at the top where the mines are. And if you have any questions on any of these images, please drop them in the comments below. And I was just wrapping up at the village here. A slight change of plan. My lens, my Canon 18-150, suddenly stopped focusing. And you can see here, there's a separation between, I hope you can see that, there's a separation between the two. Hopefully the warranty will come through on this. It's less than a year old. It's only about 6 months old. So hopefully the warranty will come through on that. But suddenly it just stopped focusing, which is really weird. Anyway, I've still got my 10-18 and I still have my telephoto. So as we go up, we shall be using those instead of our 18-150. I'll put this back in the bag and we'll crack on. Well, after that slight malfunction, I'm on my way to the next location now, which is higher up. And it really got me thinking about how do we challenge ourselves? And actually, although my lens has now failed, the most important thing here is to keep going. And that's part of the discovery of new locations, I always find, is the ability to scope out, to investigate. I see a lot of people that get onto a new location and they start running around and there's a lot of frantic activity. And I think the secret to new locations is to stand back, take a look around, look at what features you want to capture. How do you want to remember this place maybe? Do you want to compose an image that maybe is going to go in a competition or something along those lines? So there's different reasons that you may be wanting to take the images of the location. So always bear that in mind when you're in a new location, as well as the fact that it gets you out into the great outdoors, which is a place I truly love to be. And photography, for me, is one of those ways of getting outdoors. Okay, enough of my ramble. Let's head on up the trail and we'll get there soon. I'm just walking past the dam now, which is at the top of the quarry, which would have been the water feeder supply down the river to all the pumping stations and the gravity lifts and everything. Just doing it with the locals. And this is the dam, what's left of it, and there's the river that would have fed the reservoir that would have been up here. A couple of the locals on top again. And we're going up that trail there through the woods to the next location, somewhere I've never been before. Oh wow, I've come out of the forest now. Just look at this landscape. Absolutely stunning. Slate as far as the eye can see. Shafts, big holes in the ground, and lots of the quarry slopes where they used to also extract the slate from, as well as the mine workings. Wow, just look at this place. I met a lovely couple on the way up who told me about this place. Absolutely stunning. We've got a dugout quarry. It's not really a mine shaft, it's just where they've gone into the hill, but there's some shafts of light coming through from the ceiling where it's collapsed. Absolutely amazing. Right, I'm going to have a little mooch around here. I'm going to be very, very careful, I have to say. I think that the 10 to 18 is perfect for down here. So let me do a little bit of scoping out. Never been here before. There's water dripping down the sides, moss-lined walls, absolutely stunning. This old mine, you can probably hear it echoing around, is absolutely amazing. I have done a little bit of scoping around. There's obviously a lot more to it. Of all the days not to bring my head torch, silly mistake. So I will definitely be coming back here one day with my head torch to get down there. As it happens, I was down there filming a cart. It was too dark to film myself. I was taking some photographs of an old mining cart looking back into the cavern, just using my phone as illumination. It works absolutely brilliant. But my composition at the moment, let me just spin you around. You can see here, we've got the rocks leading up, and then we've got the rocks and they're going up, the moss and the hole at the top. And now I'm doing that portrait to capture the whole of the setting. And I really love in these kinds of situations how you can start to get creative, like with the way that I use my mobile phone light, just my mobile phone light on the cart down at the bottom. I'll show you that in the gallery in just one second, down at the bottom of the quarry. I couldn't get any further. And then you've got the water dripping down the cavern, trying to get some slow 10 plus 30 second even exposures of the water dripping down and getting the streams of water coming down, just making sure it's not hitting my camera. And despite my 18 to 150 breaking, the 1018 has been absolutely perfect for down here. I've managed to get what I think are some great compositions. I'd love to know what you think. Feel free to leave a comment in the comments down below, that'd be great. But actually, I will definitely be back here. What an amazing discovery that old mine shaft was, and the ability to capture some images there. So I'll show you the gallery for those in just one second. In the meantime, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. But back to our main topic, I do think that this demonstrates the importance of getting out and about with our camera, discovering new places, finding nature, historical context like this in the natural environment. Landscape photography and the nature photography is always going to be improving if you're discovering new locations. And if you're going to places that are a bit more off the beaten track, places that people don't normally go to, then actually you'll get your own images. You won't just be taking images that somebody else has taken. And that to me is one of the most important aspects of photography. I don't just want to copy somebody else, if that makes sense. I want to try and capture my own images. That's not to say that other photographers don't inspire me, because they do. A lot of great photographers do inspire me, but they inspire me to capture my own images. And hopefully this video has gone some way to helping inspire you to get out and capture some images as well. Okay, without further ado, let's take a look at the gallery that I caught in this last location. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and also check out these videos next. Thank you very much for your time in watching this video, and until next time, thank you and see you soon.